I want to start this video by saying that something that's very rare in today's world. You and I do not have to agree on everything, friends and family of the internet. In fact, healthy relationships exist with respectful disagreement. You and I have been taught that disagreement equals division. That if someone doesn't think the same as us, speak the same as us, believe what we believe, that they must be evil, ignorant, and dangerous. That's not freedom. That's fear. You and I can disagree on Trump and yet agree that something nefarious is happening with Turning Point USA since the assassination of their CEO, Charlie Kirk, in September 2025. You and I can disagree on Erica Kirk and still agree that the Gaza peace plan smells of end time prophecy. That's the difference between discussion and indoctrination. One allows truth to surface, the other demands total silence. And that is what this video is about. Something has come to the forefront this morning over everything that's happening in the world. This is what the Lord showed me. And I'm upset. I'm upset because another small YouTuber is being come after. A gentleman with less than 300,000 subscribers is being targeted by Turning Point USA for ousting them on some of their receipts. Now, some of you found me because of this, decoding Erica Kirk, that I had put up on Amazon. And what happened? Amazon stole my money, hundreds of dollars, kicked me out of my account, closed me out for life. And by the grace of God, one of my moderators had set up Patreon for me. So if you'd like to see Decoding Erica Kirk, you can find it at Starkey Formstead on Patreon. You can get a very inexpensive membership and get all of our ebooks in personal post, or you can just purchase this one book. But I wanted to show you guys that before we get started, because this is insanity to me. This is Wolves and Finance. I love his work. He has 350,000 subscribers, which means he makes a few $1,000s a month from YouTube videos. He's not getting rich doing this, and neither am I. We don't have attorneys on speed dial. This is not about picking a side, what we're doing today. This is about discernment. If you're willing to listen, even if you disagree with me, then this video is for you. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Check your subscription. YouTube loves to unsubscribe people from me. If there is a hype button, which I doubt, please hype it, because this needs to get out to other people, bigger channels than I am. Because here's the thing. Smaller channels, we don't have attorneys on speed dial. We do not have a litigation team. We don't have the money to fight the oligarchs. So that is why they come after us first. Listen to what Turning Point just did.
I received a letter from Turning Point titled Demand to Cease and Desist Defamatory Comments. This is the first step when someone sues you for defamation. I know there are a lot of people out there making videos about Turning Point, so you should pay attention to this. They have started sending out cease and desist letters, and for some reason, they've decided to start with me. Apparently, they cannot handle the criticism from my teeny tiny YouTube channel. This letter is showing the world the type of organization Turning Point has become under Erica Kirk. They want to send legal letters to small YouTube creators. So we're going to go through this letter. And by the way, if any of you know a good lawyer in Arizona that handles defamation cases, have them send me an email through my website, because I'm looking for a lawyer.
That breaks my heart. He should not have to pay to defend himself against what they sent him. Now, I'm going to link this video, like I do everything that I show you guys. under the title of my video. You can go watch it, support him, watch it all the way through. See, that's the thing about the algorithm. Even if you're like getting bored or not paying attention, just let the video roll through because the longer you watch, the more the algorithm pushes it out. You hitting the like button, you leaving a comment, you sharing it pushes the video through the algorithm. And trust me when I tell you, they're going to try to shadow ban this because right now there's this gigantic push to paint Turning Point into this glorious, wonderful Christian organization. And the reason is it's all part of the psychological war that we are fighting in this country right now. The war that you have to pick a side. That if you don't agree with me on every single thing that I say, that you can't support me, you can't watch me, you can't pray for me, you can't say, go, Sam, go. No, you have to send me an email. You have to unsubscribe because you don't agree with that point of view. And by the way, let me make this point very clear right now. I studied and got a master's degree in special education. I did that 25 years ago, is when I started my master's degree. I have 4 certifications. When I was in college, do you know what they called people who had a learning disability? Retarded. Mm-hmm. Mildly retarded, moderately retarded, or severely retarded was what we wrote on IEPs. There was a learning disability, but that was not even in the same category. Okay. When I use the word retarded, I'm using it in that way, the way that I was trained. Yeah, I know in today's world, politically correct, we're not allowed to use it any longer. But it used to be the way the federal government, and still on their documents, it is the way that they separate people with mental deficiencies. But, that's not here nor there. So let's keep going.
Turning Point states in the letter, Turning Point entities are not looking for litigation, rather their interest is in the truth and making sure the public record is accurate. So they are claiming they do not want to sue me. But I view this letter as a threat to sue, and I think any reasonable business person would do the same. A cease and desist letter is the first step towards a defamation lawsuit. I interpret this letter as Turning Point telling me to shut my mouth or they're going to sue me.
Now, I'm going to fast forward it because I want you to go watch it so that he makes the money and he gets the recognition. Do you guys remember everybody talking about the drones? The drones. And then we see Kristi Noem coming out with, we're going to use drones to track people. And we know Palantir and the gray state. It's all happening. There was most definitely drones flying the day of Charlie Kirk's assassination, and Turning Point USA admitted it.
Lawyer in this letter says the following. There was no discrepancy. UVU prohibited Turning Point USA from flying drones for security purposes during the event, but did allow a Turning Point USA media production drone to briefly fly over the location before the event to collect limited B-roll footage. First of all, how could this be defamatory if I had no idea about any of this? Second, I find this explanation absurd. You are telling me that the security team was not allowed drones, but the media team was? That is the official explanation from Turning Point's lawyer. My honest opinion is I do not believe that. But if that did happen, that is really silly, and it may have cost Charlie Kirk his life.
Yeah, that's a great video, but I want to show you why this upsets me so much. They didn't send one to Candace Owens, who has 5 million subscribers, makes $200,000-$300,000 per video, or at least monthly. They didn't send the letter to her, who has a legal team. They sent it to a small YouTube. And she says stuff like this and gets away with it.
I received information last night that put the final pieces together for me. I now can say with full confidence that I believe Charlie Kirk was betrayed by the leadership of Turning Point USA and some of the very people who eulogized him on stage. Yes, I will be naming names and providing evidence for my claims. And I am making a personal plea to every well-meaning person who donated to this godforsaken organization to request a refund. You were lied to and leadership knew. So you had many thinking that not only did this video not accomplish that, right? She didn't really provide evidence or change her narrative all that much, but also you had people saying they think that it's offensive to Charlie's legacy to tell people that they should get refunds for their TPUSA donations. We're saying that organization was his and she claims to be doing all of this for Charlie, but the end goal is likely going to be his life's work suffering. So there you had people saying things like, if you think for a second that Candace ever cared.
And I don't care about all the back and forth. I just wanted to show you the difference in what Candace claimed and what this gentleman, Wolves in Finance, was the one that proved that Turning Point was not counting employees correctly. I'm telling you, you should go look at his work. But I wanted to show you guys this. All right. The reason TPUSA chose you first was because you're uncovering what looks like financial fraud within the company and beaches out to government employees. Do not let the gas up. Get yourself an incredible lawyer and keep on asking questions. We have your back. But do people, because I don't think you guys understand on our end what this feels like when they come after you. A couple $100. That's nothing to these people. That's literally like you dropping 3 pennies on the ground and just walking off. Okay. But I got a phone call 2 days ago from our youngest son, who is also military, located in the Pacific Ocean. He's too young to even rent a car or a place to stay, but he's in the military. So I'm having to fly to Maui this weekend. Thank God. A good friend of mine has me as her free flyer for Delta. I'll fly standby, but I don't have to pay for that. All I had to do was rent a vehicle because doing the mission work on Maui, we have very good friends there. So we have a safe place to stay. I'm able to go be a mother for 2 days and then come back. If you have anything you want me to look into, I've got 24 hours. I intend to go to Lahaina, look over things, drop it in comments. I'll try to answer as many questions while I'm there. But my point is this. I'm not rich and rich like these people are. When people say we have your back, that's a beautiful thing. Your prayers are so needed for us small channels. But we still have to foot the bill if they sue us. We still have to swallow the lost funds when they steal from us. So it begins. I wonder how many others have been issued letters. I can think of a few channels that will be likely facing these letters. What does at TPUSA have to hide? Turning Point sent me a legal threat. Breaking news. TPUSA accused of using non-disclosure agreements and lawfare to stifle employee whistleblowers to control the narrative given their extensive pattern of historical corruption and scandals. Those who profess Christ and stand on truth don't need to hide behind NDAs at TPUSA. What exactly are you so afraid your employees are going to say? This was January 16th. The IRS needs to do a detailed audit of Turning Point USA. I'm going to be very honest with you guys. I have already done videos proving all the money that people donated to the fire victims during the Maui fires never got to anyone. I interviewed hundreds of people on that island. No one that applied for that money ever got it. That's what happens. You donate it being good hearted, thinking it's going to an actual person. They're going to give them cash. That person can buy clothes that fit. They can get what they need. They can pay their rent. That's not what happens. It goes to other non-governmental organizations. More nonprofits get started. It goes to pay people's salaries. At this stage in American history, honest to God, all nonprofits need to be dissolved. I don't know what that would look like, but I know that we need to scrap the way it's done now. The same with foundations. This is how the rich continue to get rich, and you and I continue to try to help, but we don't know how to help because if you give money to anyone, it just enriches the rich. Okay. So, major bombshell, Stacey Sheridan paid 4.67 million from TPUSA to her own companies while employed. Zero conflict disclosures on IRS forms. This is important. In a bombshell tip, we uncovered what looks like a classic nonprofit self dealing scheme at TPUSA. Senior fundraising executive Stacey Sheridan, publicly listed as Senior Advancement Director, routed over $4 million to her own Delaware Shell LLC, Lion Rock Ventures, Cloverstone, GSM Strategies, all while TPUS claimed zero related party transactions on IRS Schedule L for 6 straight years. And this person breaks it down quite deeply. So he's probably going to get a cease and desist too.
Wouldn't it be interesting if Stacey Sheridan was making $180,000 a year as a senior advancement director, which raises money for Turning Point USA as a fundraiser, and she also owns multiple entities, taking in millions of dollars for her own self-interest, while appearing on a Form 990 as a key employee, but then not appearing on any 990s as a key employee, but showing up on the website in the Wayback Machine, which means they secretly took her off of the website so people wouldn't know while she's just romping around raising money in 2019, 2020, 2021, 2023, 2024. This shows you exactly how Stacey Sheridan is taking money as an employee, also being hidden as an employee, and also taking commission from every single fundraising that she brings in through her company. So the way it works is that she's actually raising money as a fundraiser hired by the company, being paid a salary, and then she creates an LLC. She's got Cloverstone Ventures, Lion Rock Ventures, GSM Strategies, and she's taking money, millions of dollars for Turning Point USA. She's filtering it through her company, taking a commission in the $500,000 range and the $100,000 range and and just it adds up to millions of dollars. She's literally taking a commission off of the job that she's supposed to be doing as a salaried position through her own personal interested LLCs and not filling out the proper documentation to even show anybody that she's doing this. There are specific forms, Schedule L's, Schedule G's. All of this stuff is supposed to be specifically allocated on the 990 so that people know, donors know, the IRS knows what's happening. But they're hiding information on purpose. What if I showed you all of that? Would you believe me? I guess you don't have to, because I'm going to actually show you the evidence.
$4,669,785. That's how much Stacey Sheridan's companies extracted from Turning Point USA between 2019 and 2024. While their website listed her as Advancement Director and Senior Directive Director, while their tax forms called her companies independent contractors for 6 consecutive years, I can't read that word back there. Forensic breakdown, Charlie Kirk asked for 8 days before he was assassinated. Nobody at Turning Point is doing it, so I did. The evidence, 2019, Sheridan listed employees making $180,983, Form 990, Part 7. 2019, her companies, which is like the Lion Rock Ventures, paid $206,000, which was a Schedule G in 2019. Schedule L disclosure of related party transactions, blank. 2020, using the Wayback Machine, shows her as Senior Advancement Director on TPUSA.com, staff 2020. Her company, Lion Rock Ventures, paid $979,000. 2020, Sheridan listed on Form 990, Part 7 as employee, no. 2020, Schedule L disclosure, blank. 2021, still listed on website as Senior Advancement Director. 2021, her company's paid $891,000. 2021, listed as employee, no, and it just keeps going. So it says down here the violations would end up being worker misclassification, Schedule L non-disclosure for 4.67 million in related party transactions undisclosed for 6 years, false statements on tax returns, checked no to interested person transactions in 2024, potential intermediate sanctions, key employees, companies receiving millions without proper disclosure or approval. It says every document shown in this video is publicly available from the IRS. ProPublica, Nonprofit Explorer, Internet Archive, Wayback Machine, their numbers, their signatures, their websites. If you donated to Turning Point USA, you subsidize this as a taxpayer because they are tax exempt. You do have a right to know where your money went. It says that 25% excess tax on a recipient would be $1,167,000. If not corrected, 225% would total $10 million that they owe back. So the reason I wanted to show this is it's not just wolves in finance. It was not just me. They are actually trying to rewrite the history of what is going on post Charlie Kirk. This is so dark. But I mean, what an amazing time to be alive. Look at the technology that we have now that we didn't have 20 years ago. Look at the ability of all of us to reach out to each other on Patreon, on YouTube, on X, sharing information, talking to each other. Like I said, you and I are never going to agree on everything. I don't agree on everything with my own husband, my own children, or my own parents. So I doubt ever that I'll meet anybody on this channel that I am identical to. It's simply mathematically impossible. I have my own life experiences. I look at things with different colored glasses than you through life experience. I just want to say, for the ones of you that have allowed me to grow without bombarding me with your disapproval, I appreciate you. That shows such a magnitude of adult behavior, of your ability to watch someone realize in real time that everything that they're seeing is not what it's supposed to be. I do truly appreciate you guys. You mean more to me than you would ever know. Because if I cared just about money or popularity, I would have just stayed on the Trump train. I'd have just kept tooting that horn, right? Rather than begin to backpedal when I realized that what I was seeing, what the Lord was showing me, was the Antichrist end time world being set down. I don't know about you, but I know where I'm going when I die. So literally, I'm okay with it. But I do also know that God doesn't want anybody to go to hell. So you and I have a job to do between now and when that trumpet sounds. We legitimately have a job to do. That job is to spread the gospel. The Bible is clear. People are like, well, what do we do? You pray. You spread the gospel. You love your neighbor as yourself, even if your neighbor is a blue-haired, nose ring wearing hippie. You love them. You love them. And to the ones of you that have been ordering Growing Under a Poison Sky, a lady told me when Amazon told them they could not deliver to the address, she had them deliver it to a local Amazon store in her community and went and picked it up. Amazon cannot take down this book, Growing Under a Poison Sky. They cannot. But what they're doing is making it where people can't get it delivered to their address. They'll deliver anything else but this book to your house. That is insanity. But that shows you how deep this is. It is mind-blowing to me that Amazon would do this. Like all I wrote was an ebook, and a 12-page ebook with nothing but facts about Erica Kirk, and everything's just tumbling down. This gentleman did nothing but look. He is an accountant. He looked at Turning Point's tax records and pointed out the fallacy in them. And now he's got a cease and desist letter with a threat of a lawsuit. This is real. And this is really happening. And this was not on my bingo card for 2026. I have to get ready for church, but I had to show this to you guys. I love y'all so much. Be blessed. Walk in the assurance that God's got a plan. He's got a plan. He's got a plan for America. He's got a plan for everybody. But we have got to remember that everything is not what it seems. We'll get into what's happening in Greenland probably this afternoon or tomorrow. But I love you guys. Like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for your time.